All right, so if you live in St. Mary's County and you love upscale pastries, high-end desserts, and you might even have a wedding coming up or a corporate event, or you just want to get some of the, no offense to social, some of the best coffee in Leonardtown, this is the place to be. We're at Kneaded with Kelly Davin, and I'm excited to learn more about
thanks for coming.
what you got going on here.
Towards the end of my degree, I wanted to move to New York and be in advertising. And then I realized quickly that that would put me in front of a computer all day, every day, which would be horrible for me. And then I'd always loved to cook. I'd worked at some really interesting bakeries and places in San Diego where I'm from. And I thought, you know what, this is really more aligned with what I want. I come from a very long line of like home cooks that were incredible. So I thought, you know what, this is the coolest thing to be a pastry chef and to be able to combine art with food. So that's really why after San Diego State, I left. I went to Johnson & Wales in Rhode Island culinary school. I was there for 2 years where I learned I learned everything from like bread making and chocolate work, sugar work, like all these really specific detailed things for pastries. And then, you know, I went back to San Diego and I opened up one of their only 5-star, 5-diamond properties at the time. And I was the only woman in the kitchen. I was like 20 years old. It was insane. It was so much fun. It was wild. But in the meantime, I had started working for a wedding planner, kind of volunteering with her. So then I started making wedding cakes and things just exploded where I was making, this is San Diego at the height of wedding season. Like it was nuts. So I was probably making 10 wedding cakes a week. So I'm talking like 7-tiered wedding cakes at like these very, very fancy hotels. I'm like delivering them. Now I'm married. I'm pregnant. At some point, like it's madness. So then I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm going to take a step away from the physicality of being a pastry chef. What's the easiest job I know how to do at this point? I'll be a wedding planner. So then spent the next 10 years of my life, 20 years of my life owning this company of being a wedding planner in San Diego. But then I always missed the pastry, so I always had my hands in that. I was very influenced by like Amy Atlas. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a pastry chef in New York that really tied into like design details into the pastry and these full sets of like these beautiful scenes almost.
Yeah.
So it really combined, and again, my love for pastry and design and all that kind of thing. I always knew that I wanted a bakery since I was 19. I've always wanted a bakery, but timing is everything because you have to know, even now, every day, I'm like an old lady now, and I still am learning stuff every single day.
Well, that's the thing about having a small business.
Right.
There's 1,000 skills that you gotta know and be competent at it.
Right.
It's not the case that you're gonna learn any of those things necessarily outside of actually doing it.
One night I was like selling cookies because I was just selling cookies out of my house during COVID. I won the blue ribbon at the St. Mary's County Fair and I was like, I have arrived. And then I met Mark in April and they're like, hey, we are getting this space. Are you interested? I was like, yeah, but there's no way I can do that. I can't own a bakery. Like, I don't know enough. I'm not ready. You know, all these things you talk yourself out of. And then I was like, you know what? One day I just woke up and I was like, I have to do it. I will never forgive myself if I don't try. And then here we are. We won Best Bakery, like not even a year open. It's crazy.
It's no surprise to me. The first time I stepped in here, I was like, okay, we got ice cream. My wife, Jonathan, she was like, there's this new bakery in town. It's so good.
Right.
We're going to go. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
Panera bread.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm no stranger to pastries.
Right.
And then I come in and it is incredible. I'm just thinking this is just 5-10 steps ahead of anything that we've had here so far. And that was around the same time that I was starting the County Connoisseur. So I thought, I need to talk to Kelly.
Right.
To have this.
Yeah.
It's so good to have this here. So tell me, what are you guys doing now? So you started off with just cookies. You had done some catering before.
Right.
And you give me kind of the gambit of
Yeah. So I'd been making cakes for so long. And like this scone recipe that I have, it took 8 years to make to get it to the point where I wanted it to be. And then I thought, you know what I looked around and there was a gaping hole in terms of pastry here. There's no croissants being made daily. There's no Danish. There's no scones. There's no like really beautiful in my mind. And so that was really my thing. Like, we make every single filling, every single dough, every single icing, every buttercream flour, like every single thing that is here we make. The only thing we bring in are the macarons because I don't have the patience for those. So yeah, those are the only things that I thought I can do everything else. I can do bread, I can do bagels, I can do, all these things that I've spent 25 years perfecting. Now's my time to just put it out. So I just started putting out what I really love. And what I thought was beautiful, and also what I thought was really interesting for people that maybe hadn't had been exposed to this kind of food before.
I like that you said that, being exposed to this kind of food before. You know, my wife and I, my wife's from Mexico.
Okay.
I spent time in New York,
Yeah.
et cetera. And I think that the time that I spent out was rather helpful because it gets you to appreciate lots of different things. And it opens your eyes to a lot of stuff that's out there. And
Right.
if you've never kind of been outside of St. Mary's County and you haven't had opportunities to go try different foods from elsewhere,
Right.
you just really don't know what you're missing. So when that stuff comes in,
Yeah.
it just kind of like opens your mind to new levels of food or new levels of experiences that you didn't even know were possible. That's cool.
It's true. And it's been really cool too, because the first few months we were open, people would come in and be like, what is that? And we would explain, like, this is a Queen Amman. It's, croissant dough rolled in sugar. It caramelizes in the oven. It sucks all the butter that we import back up in there. And at first people were like, eh. And now, those things don't stay on the counter past 10. I just always want to make sure that whatever it is that I put out, that I'm super proud of it, and that I made my 19-year-old self proud of whatever I put out there, right? When I'm dreaming, I have books and journals and all these drawings and writings and recipes from when I was 19 years old that now I'm seeing actually out on the line. And that's just a trip for me. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
You're people from 19 years old.
Yep.
So throw a javelin out into the future and be like, damn, I got it.
And there it is, right? Every day I look at every single thing that we put out and I'm like, how do we make it better? How do we make it better? And I feel like we have people that come in and they're like, this is better than croissants I had in Paris. I love that compliment. I well, we're not looking at the Eiffel Tower, but, I'll take it. I run at the Wharf, this cute little downtown. It's like a Hallmark movie. But those kinds of things where I look at this chocolate croissant, it's perfectly layered and just beautiful, right? And then I think that's it. How can it get better than this? It can't get better. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. For your corporate and wedding and other event-based clients, what can they expect?
So our hours will start to be extended into the evenings, where we'll sort of transition not from, scones and croissants, more into higher end desserts and pastries of that caliber, so that, you come in, you can get ice cream, but you can also get a beautiful piece of chocolate cake, right? So that's what we're really trying to get to next and that's really my passion, are the desserts. In terms of catering, we're doing a lot of catering for real estate agents, open houses, a lot of brunches for weddings, a lot of baby showers, a lot of bridal showers, those kinds of things, because in the mornings before your wedding, you want a box of nice pastries. Let us do that for you, right? A lot of offices call us, a lot of banks, a lot of any kind of corporate. We do a lot of work on base as well. So wedding cakes, catering, all of it are really coming through. So it's not just the daily morning stuff. We are opening up into the evening soon with more desserts, and then the weddings, events, catering, all the good stuff too.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I have so many more ideas.
What are you projecting out for the next year or two? What are the big goals?
So I'm looking for more people, and we need more front of the house people, because now that we're going to be open during the evening in the summer, so hiring more, long story short. Cool. Oh, and I really want a food truck. I mean, I'm talking 20 years I've wanted a food truck.
Actually, I think for the last couple of years, there's just been a big surge in food trucks.
I can see that.
So,
yeah, and there really aren't very many dessert food trucks. These are the things that are important to me. The fact that we love what we do. Everybody in here loves it. It's so fun. We always have the best time. I've met so many cool people here. I like the comfort of the space that we created, that you bring your kids, you hang out, it's fun. I know about people's health issues and all sorts of things. We talk. It's a really cool scene, I feel like, and I love that part of it. But really, from a food perspective, I want people to know that I'm not some person who just sat around one day and thought, I'm really good at this, I like this, I'm going to do this. It's not, those weren't the steps that were taken. It has been a grind of, let's say 25 years at least of developing recipes, figuring out what works, flavor combinations, the layering of dough, the 8-year recipe scone, all these things, right? And it really matters to me. It's not like I'm just slapping things out there that I'm like, oh, this is fine, it'll sell. I don't care about that as much as, am I proud of every single thing that goes out every single day? And if I'm not, there's stuff in the back I don't put out.
Well, I think that's a testament to the fact that this is your dream.
Right.
This is your baby, and this is the thing that, you've been working towards for a long time. Anybody who this isn't their dream, they would never last. They would never put that kind
Right.
of time and effort and that kind of dedication towards 8 years perfecting a scone, or a croissant or something.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's
crazy.
That's not something that I would ever do. That's not
Right.
something that the vast majority of people would do. But that's why this is like a perfect thing for you,
Right.
and that's why you're producing the kind of caliber
Right.
pastries and desserts as you're producing. So that definitely shows.
I love that. And that's it. That's really what I wanted. I just wanted a place where I could come and every day feels like a new day. We don't make the same things every day. It's constantly rotating. You could come in at 9 o'clock when we open and we've got all this, but by noon, we've completely flipped over everything and we've got all new product out. So it's constantly evolving. We try to keep the favorites out, but again, like the Queen Amande, the croissants, all these, we can't physically keep up with the demands. So you gotta come early, but once they're here, and then they're gone by 10.
Well,
That's fun.
I bet that's a real challenge, but that's very cool that you guys do that.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Right? That's how I look at it. So yeah.
So if someone's interested in coming over here to try this,
Yes.
some folks are from Calvert, some from Charles. Most of my followers are from St. Mary's County, but if they don't know where you are, where can they find you?
We are on the corner of Fenwick and Washington, right in the square. What else? I mean, I feel like we're just in the heart of everything, right? Easy.
And
Yeah.
social media, do you guys have any?
Yes, we have all of it. So we have, I'm on Facebook under Kneaded Baking Co., Instagram, Kneaded Baking Co. Where else are we? We started a TikTok thing, but now we haven't launched it yet because we tell ridiculous stories dubbed over like me making pastries. And I'm like, I don't know how many of these crazy stories we went out quite yet, but it is fun.
That sounds
So stay tuned. We'll try to refine those a little bit. We're all over, I feel like.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was super fun. Yeah, my pleasure.
I'm excited to get this out.